Imagine walking into a museum in Europe and seeing hundreds of nude sculptures. No one gasps, no one looks away, no one seems shocked. Tourists often feel uncomfortable at first, but locals barely react. Why? How did an entire continent learn to see the human body as art, while many other cultures still treat it as something taboo? The answer goes back centuries, through philosophy, art, and a very different way of thinking about the human body. And once you understand it, you might start seeing the world differently too. Curiosity grows when we start to compare places. Our world contains many different ways of living. In some cultures, the human body is a deeply private matter. It is carefully hidden behind layers of clothing and behind social rules. To show it is to risk shame or misunderstanding. In these places, the body is charged with intense meaning tied to intimacy and tied to desire. It is not something to be displayed casually. This approach has its own logic, its own history, and its own sense of what is right and what is decent. It creates a world of careful boundaries and respected privacy. In other places, the body is shown more freely, both in art and in life. Here, in many parts of Europe, seeing the body in art is part of the fabric of daily existence. It is not confined to the hushed halls of a museum. It appears in illustrated history books. It appears in public fountains. It appears in the grand frescoes that adorn city halls. Outside of art, this acceptance extends further. People will attend life drawing classes where they study the human form with quiet focus. They will visit beaches where bodies are free to feel the sun and the air without the constraints of clothing. This can feel strange to an outsider. To the visitor, this openness can seem perplexing. It might feel like a lack of modesty or a disregard for boundaries. But to the local, it often feels entirely normal. It is simply the way things are. This is not because people are less moral or less sensitive. It is because they have been taught to see with a different lens. They have learned over generations to separate the idea of the nude from the idea of the lewd. They have learned to see the body as a symbol of humanity. They have learned to see the body as a symbol of beauty. They have learned to see the body as a symbol of vulnerability. They have learned to see the body as a symbol of strength. The journey begins in the bright sunlight of ancient Greece. The Greeks were pioneers in so many things, including the way they saw the human body. Their artists and thinkers were fascinated by the world around them, and humanity was at the center of that world. They carved magnificent statues of gods, goddesses, and athletes. They did not hide these figures. On the contrary, they celebrated the human form with a sense of awe and admiration. They wanted to show ideal balance, harmony, and strength. For the ancient Greeks, the body was not a source of shame. It was a symbol of human potential and divine beauty. An athlete's body represented discipline, hard work, excellence. A god's body represented perfect, immortal power. These statues stood in public places, in temples and in stadiums, part of the visual landscape of daily life. Children grew up seeing them. Citizens walked past them every day. The nude form became associated with virtue, with civic pride, and with the highest ideals of their civilization. Then came the Romans. They absorbed Greek culture, including its art, and kept the body in public life. While often more realistic than idealized, the acceptance remained. The body was central to a shared visual language. Even when later eras turned away, the statues remained, buried and rediscovered, their stories told and retold. This ancient permission to look became a powerful echo across Europe. Section 5. The quiet work of normalization. Psychology and habit. History alone does not tell the whole story. We also need plain psychology. How do groups learn what is normal? Often through repeated and calm exposure. A child who regularly sees the body in art learns a quiet lesson. The body can be studied and admired, not only hidden. It happens in classrooms, in museums, in conversations. Teachers talk about light and form. Artists discuss proportion and balance. Parents bring children to see public fountains. Everyday acts reshape instinct. Like learning a language, practice turns strangeness into fluency. A culture learns a visual language where the nude has many meanings. Over time, surprise becomes recognition. The body keeps its power, channeled in diverse ways. Well, it's subtle but powerful.